What if the answer to growing your business was about systems? Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Probert.
And I'm Jonathan's co host, Laura DeFranco. We want to welcome you to Systemized.
We're here to talk to successful entrepreneurs about the systems that help them grow their business. It's what we wanted to know when we started ours, and it's what's going to help you build yours. Today, we're excited to welcome strategy ninja Amy Burks to the show. How's it going, Amy?
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Laura. I always giggle when anybody else other than me uses that term, the strategy ninja. It's so fun. I'm great. I'm so psyched to be here. I love that you guys, are really interested in systems and the service, the great service that this podcast provides to others who are, trying to shortcut the stuff that, we all maybe learn the hard way. So I love the intentionality around what this podcast is here for.
Thanks. Great to have you on. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Amy first. Amy Burks helps purpose-driven companies create momentum on demand. She's worked with clients from the NBA's Dallas Mavericks and Fortune 500 companies like Xerox to hundreds of small and medium-sized brands, using a proven opportunity assessment process that infuses organizations with rocket fuel and clarity right when they need it most.
Okay, so like you had me at strategy ninja, Amy, first of all. So you guys, Amy is so awesome. And we got to know each other through a little networking group. And anybody who's like willing to talk strategy and systems, like I geek out. Jonathan geeks out about systems. So that just cracked me up. I use the word mind or the term mindset ninja and or ninja moves of mindset. And like, yeah, I love people who say ninja. Okay. I'll turn it back over to Jonathan.
So, Amy, can you tell us about something that you implemented into your business that saved you time or effort or money?
Oh, I would love to. This is probably one of my favorite conversations because I don't think I mentioned this in my bio and Laura, I don't even know if you know this, but about 7 or 8 years ago, I wrote a book called The Hustle Free Business. And so really, it's always been about trying to create efficiency, and some of it is through specific systems and the other is, by bringing mindset and injury into the equation as well. And so for me, what it has always come down to is simplicity. And I can actually tell a story about this too. So about 7 years ago, I got divorced. And when that happened, I was suddenly faced with this new reality where my daughter, who was just about 3 at the time, was suddenly only going to be in my life half of the time. And so, to go like if you have children and are not in a divorce or a shared custody situation, then like try to imagine what that feels like, right? To know that you've got this kid full time and suddenly you're only going to see her for half her life. And so, as soon as that reality started to settle in, I was like, well, gosh, my business is going to have to work twice as hard with half as much time because I'm absolutely not going to give up any more time with my kid now that I'm losing half of it just instantly. And so it became absolutely necessary for me to figure out how to do things more efficiently and more effectively so that I could save the time otherwise to be with her because that was absolutely my most important thing. And so simplicity became the thing. Like that was it, just everything had to be simplified. My business model was very complex. I had lots of offerings. I was constantly trying new tactics, selling new things, and it just all had to stop. And so it took a lot of what's the right word? It required me to be very specific, very intentional, and very determined in order to do that. Because as humans, I think we make things complex by nature. We just do that and we make things very hard, harder than they need to be. We're convinced that things can't be simplified. And so it really required me to just sit down and look at it. And I will add that I couldn't have done it by myself either. Like, I think that's why it's so awesome, Jonathan, that what you do is you provide support for people to build systems, and that's very similar to what I do in a different way as far as strategy is concerned. It's really hard to see our own stuff when we're in the weeds, when we're so close to it. And so I couldn't really see through to where the simplicity might be. And so I had to, bring my coach in to help me look for where the potential was for me to eliminate some stuff, to automate some stuff, and to really let go of things so that I could simplify. And so I drilled my business model down to 2 offerings from lots. And then I drilled my process for finding clients down to like 1 or 2 things. And then I was able to build a life around that so that my life was more important than my business, and my time was invested in creating the most efficient way to interact with my business as possible, so that everything else, like the business, became the foundation for my life instead of my life being the foundation for my business. So I don't know if that answers your question, or if there are like other questions you want to ask about
No,
that.
definitely. It's kind of a open question for you to answer, and simplicity is definitely a something that I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. They got to keep 100 offerings and all this, all that. So definitely.
I mean,
Um,
like it's the advice we get. So, I mean, I'd love to hear your answer to this, Amy, because business coaches coach multiple income streams. And once upon a time, I'm listening to this advice going, okay, cool. Oh, here's some balloons about it. So, like, I put all those income streams into place, and now I'm on the other side of it going, oh my God, I have built this complex thing that I can't even keep up with anymore. I think, yeah, I don't know. What do you want to say about that coaching?
Yeah, Laura, oh my gosh, you're so right on. And I remember, right, we talked about this with your business. You've got all these amazing things that are happening, and it's so common for the reasons that you mentioned, right? We're like looking out at the landscape. We get advice from people that we pay a lot of money to that tell us do this thing, and then we hire somebody else who says now do this thing, and then we're like told to, diversify and have lots going on. And I think that in general, right, some of that advice is right on, and the execution of it, I think, can be nuanced and different. So like rather than building a really complex business with like a gazillion bolt-on parts in order to diversify, can we have a couple of things that are really simple to execute, allow us to be nimble and flexible, and we diversify within our client base, right? Like, are there ways that we can diversify how we reach out, or the type of content that we're creating, or something like that. So I think there's like nuggets of wisdom in the stuff that we hear, but I think it's our humanity that causes us to go, okay, cool, let's like just keep piling things on and adding stuff because this person knows, because they are an expert. And that, part of the opportunity for us is to allow ourselves to pause and to listen to our inner wisdom and go, okay, is this actually the way? Right? Like, what else could I take from what they're sharing with me so that I can get something valuable out of this engagement? Like that for me, I think was for so long when I first started my business was the thing was I kept outsourcing my wisdom because I thought, well, I've never built a business like this before. And so that person that I'm paying $25,000 to, they know what they're doing. So I'm going to do it exactly their way. And I should do it because they tell me I should. And then we like put ourselves in these boxes that don't necessarily fit who we are or how we want to be in the world or how we want to work with our businesses. And it's such an easy trap to fall into because we're humans. But I think that what I keep finding with my clients is that the alignment returns when we use our values as a filter, when we decide and get really clear on what's absolutely most important, and then are willing to look for the simpler, easier, more leveraged paths to create that end. And when we have a willingness to believe that it's possible for it to be simpler and easier to get there than the way that we're doing it currently.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jonathan, do you want her to go on a deep dive of anything that you heard? All of it?
no, she gave a pretty good dive there. I think I only have one main follow-up question, and that is for businesses who are looking to make themselves more simple, what do you think they should be focusing on? Should it be stuff within like specific departments like marketing or what they offer or something else? What do you think?
Such a good question. So so the process that I work through with my clients on is what I call an opportunity assessment. And when I do that process, what I'm looking for is where the blind spots are, where the potential is, where the complexities are. And I want to really understand where they are now and where it is that they want to go so that we can like figure out what's in the way or like where we might find rocket fuel. And so when it comes to simplification, I think you want to look at all of it, right? Like I think that there's complexity everywhere. So in your marketing, in your operational systems, in your lead gen strategy, in your business model and offerings, right? It could be everywhere. And that, you know, the greatest potential comes from being able to look at it with clear eyes, which sometimes we don't have on our own, which is why I said it was so useful for me to have my coach come and say like, well, you don't need to be doing all this stuff, like to have permission to let go or to, you know, and I think as a tactical thing, you know, like get a friend or do it yourself if you think you can look at it really cleanly and clearly. But like I said before, I think being able to use, like to really be clear on what's most important and why it's important can create a filter for decision making so that everything that you're looking at, you can say, okay, if the most important thing right now is cash flow, then cool. How do we create cash flow most simply and easily? Do we need to be doing, you know, these 600 different activities within our marketing? Do we need all of these, you know, all of these offerings, right? Do they all actually serve to create cash flow? Are they creating a cash flow positive situation? Where are they taking it away for us? Like, you know, I think that at its simplest is like a really easy question to use as a filter, as a tactic. And sometimes it's hard for us to see for ourselves, and having an outside perspective can be really useful to help us see the stuff that we can't see because we're just so used to seeing it a certain way.
Yes, you guys use your phone a friend option. Use your
Right.
phone. How about your strategic friend, your
Yeah, there
wise
you go.
friend? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Not your friend ChatGPT who's like, that's a wonderful idea. And that's also a wonderful idea. And that's also a wonderful idea. You're so smart. Do it all.
I'm glad that you mentioned that too. That's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for all of that. You know, you saw us both nodding. It's like, yes, 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 and yes. These are some of the things it would have been really great to hear at the beginning of businesses, right? And so we so appreciate your wisdom and experience. You've already hit on lots of nuggets. The entrepreneurial journey can be so challenging. Um, Out of all of that, what do you think is the most important business building tip you want to share with this audience? If you had to pick one for today, what would it be?
Gosh, that's such a good question. Most important business building tip. I mean, I think really understanding, like if you can, I think that because, you know, especially in the United States, we've got this kind of collective agreement around this ethos that business is over here and personal is over here. And so it's really easy to forget our humanity as we're building businesses, or even as, you know, leaders in companies, right? Like we just kind of forget that our humanity goes with us everywhere we go. And so I think reminding ourselves, especially when you're first starting out, that kindness is like to ourselves is really important, and that we're not going to get it all right, and that that is okay. And if you can like bring as much curiosity, like gentle wonder as possible to the exploration of it, then it can lower the stakes a little bit for you. It can open possibilities for you, and it can allow for more potential to become available. You know, when I started out, I was really like tightly holding on to the goals and the things and all the stuff that I was doing. And it wasn't until I really started to loosen things up and get gently curious with wonder about like, I wonder how I might do that, or like what if I did it differently this way, or what might it look like if, you know, what else is possible, you know, like asking questions like that, I think is just the most powerful thing we can do, because then it allows, you know, our inner wisdom to be cultivated, and for our intuition to lead the way, and for us not to get stuck in the trap of the shoulds and the, you know, must haves and the must do's. So I think being able to remember our humanity and using, you know, wonder and gentle curiosity as a tool to do that is probably the most powerful thing that we can do.
Yeah, I'm going to remind everybody too about the book that you mentioned you wrote, The Hustle-Free Business. Is that still available for everybody? I'm curious.
I think so. It's on Amazon, and I
Okay,
looked
okay.
recently, and I don't. My publisher put it out there, and I was like, "Can I even order it?" People can reach out to me if they want a copy because I've got a bunch, and I'd be
There
happy
we go.
to mail them
All
out.
right.
So
All
yeah,
right. Because that's, it's part of what you're talking about is, and it's, I know aligned with Jonathan's mission is, a little anti-hustle culture there. We want to close the show with one more question for you. One of the goals of Systemized is to support our fellow entrepreneurs in their businesses to get to that goal of that time freedom we all crave. We want the time freedom. We want the lifestyle. You put it into such great perspective talking about your daughter and the lifestyle, and that forced you to make some decisions about getting to that freedom and lifestyle that you knew was unapologetically got to happen. I love that story that you told. So in doing that, entrepreneurship has done a few things for you. Can you talk about like what it's allowed you to do that was maybe unexpected, something you never saw coming? Some good stuff.
yeah. Like what entrepreneurship in general, or the time
Yeah.
freedom, or
You
yeah.
would, I would guess you would never go back from being an entrepreneur at this point. Why?
Oh man, it's so interesting because there are times where I sit and I'm like, this is amazing, and wouldn't it be nice to just get a consistent paycheck? Like, wouldn't that be great to like have benefits again, or like, so occasionally that thought crosses my mind, and then I think about it, and I try to envision myself in a job, being employed, having a boss, and I'm like, wow, the the flexibility that this has given me, the like I was saying, the ability to spend time with my daughter when she is here with me, and to do so without interruption, to be able to be in a position to advise and work with so many different types of clients in this really diverse way. The journey has been, I always say this, that the three most impactful places in my kind of personal growth that have been like the best playgrounds and training grounds for me have been in dating, parenting, and in the business world, like in building my business, because it's just given me so many opportunities to fall down, pick myself back up, be resilient, learn, grow, get curious, notice how mean I am to myself, try again, build systems, F them up, fix them, like, and so I'm just constantly learning about myself through the lens of this journey, and so many things that I could never have learned had I not become an entrepreneur and stuck with it for the last 12 years. Like, I just couldn't have gotten to where I am and, had the kind of transformations that I've had personally without it. So yeah, great question.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a great answer as well. As entrepreneurship has definitely given all of us the freedom that we want in life, letting us do what we want to do, even when we have some work to do. We can do it, take our laptop, and then go get whatever else done elsewhere.
For sure.
But Amy, thank you so much for being here and for what you do in the world. Before we go, we want to give you a chance to let you shout yourself out and let people know what you're up to and where to find you.
Thanks for that. Easiest way to find me would either be on my website, which is amyburks.com, amybirks.com, or come find me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. The end of my LinkedIn, linkedin.com, whatever the thing is Strategy Ninja, of course. So you can find me there. And if you want to copy the book, just shoot me a message, and I'm happy to pop one in the mail to you.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks
you
so much
heard
for
her.
having me, you guys.
Of course, of course. You guys heard her. You can reach out on LinkedIn or her website and carry on the conversation. The link should be in the description. Also, remember to grab your free system success guide, which will help you get started systemizing your business.
Oh my gosh, you guys, the guide. Do not go away from this little video without going and grabbing your guide. There are some really cool things going on in that guide that will change your business, not to mention all of the group workshops you're doing right now, Jonathan. I'm super excited to start one of those. I can feel the shift that I'm going to make in those 4 weeks. So I'm excited about all the things. You guys go grab it.
Okay, guys, that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. And remember, for epic business growth, get systemized.